This evening, Fisherfolks across the country to benefit from a one-off relief grant. U.S. Embassy temporarily not accepting B1 and B2 visa applications. Police in Region 7 investigating alleged drowning of a Victorian man at Rock Landing. In the region, Colombia, Petro faces Hernandez in runoff election in June. And internationally, Malaysia bans chicken exports in latest food protectionism move. Greetings and welcome to another edition of Channel 2 Headline News Update. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. Fisherfolks across the country will benefit from a one-off relief grant of $150,000. President Dr. Irfan Ali disclosed this during a meeting with fishermen from Windsor Forest and other surrounding villages in Region 3, Essequibo Island, West Demerara, on Tuesday, May 31st. In addition to the other steps put in place to reduce the burdens on fisherfolks across the country, President Ali stated that the one-time grant is an immediate move that the government is taking to make a direct transfer to support fisherfolks in expanding their businesses. The president told the fisherfolks that an assessment was done of the industry and the immediate needs of those directly involved. This assessment, he added, was completed on Tuesday, and after the government examined its revenue stream and finances, they were able to make the funds available. Also present at the meeting was Agricultural Minister Zulfikar Mustafa. Minister Mustafa said the government was continuously exploring areas to assist all sections of the population. The government announced similar interventions for the rice industry recently. Are you considering visiting the United States for the first time for a vacation? According to the U.S. Embassy, that may not be possible for a while, Esther Sobers explains.
There has been a backlog in holiday B1 and B2 visa applications for the United States of America. This was confirmed by the Public Affairs Officer of the United States Embassy in Georgetown, Violeta Hernandez, during an interview conducted on his St. Jam radio earlier today. The backlog has resulted in applications waiting more than a year to get an in-person interview to complete the application process to be granted a non-immigration visa.
We encourage everyone to get the correct, accurate information off of our website. And just to let you know, you're not alone in this process. This is a global issue that's happening all over the world, apparently due to the COVID pandemic, which had a snowball effect over 2 years. So I know a lot of your Guyanese applicants for the new visas are going for the holiday visas or the B1, B2 visas. And there's the transit visas that are the C1D visas. So the B1, B2 has a significant delay. The student visa does not, and the other categories of the non-immigrant visas also don't have such a significant delay.
People who have a visa that expired the last 4 years, 48 months, can apply for renewal or an interview waiver, according to Hernandez. If the waiver is granted, renewal application will not be required to make an appointment at the embassy.
If you have an existing visa, if you had a visa, a B1, B2, or a C1D that is expired less than 48 months ago, you can apply to perhaps get an interview waiver, so you don't have to come in for appointment. That's the first point. Second point, for new visa holders, there are 8 categories of emergency visas, and I have them written down. Humanitarian emergencies, diplomatic official visas, student visas, travel to advance the United States government interest, H visas associated with production of food and medical professionals, individuals traveling to the United States as air or sea crew, medical emergencies in the United States, not transit, in the United States, and urgent business travel to the United States, again, not transit.
For more information and inquiries on persons can visit U.S. Embassy website at gyusembassy.gov and travel.state.gov. For more information on wait time and waivers of interviews. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Police in Regional Division 4B is investigating a shooting incident involving a 64-year-old farmer and 2 unidentifiable male perpetrators who were annoyed at the farmer's refusal to sell eggs at Swan Village Suicide Linden Highway on Tuesday, May 31st. The farmer owns a small-scale chicken farm and a mini grocery shop at his residence. The shop also sells chicken and eggs. Enquiries disclosed that around 7:30 p.m. the farmer was in his kitchen when he heard someone calling for him. He then ventured outside and saw the 2 men, one of whom inquired about purchasing eggs. The farmer reportedly told the man that his shop was already closed, but the perpetrators pleaded with him to sell them. The farmer refused and the perpetrators became annoyed. One of them allegedly drew a handgun from the waist of his pants and discharged a single round at the farmer. The farmer, who is a licensed owner of a 12-gauge single-barrel shotgun, evaded the bullet and reached for his licensed firearm. He discharged a single round in their direction. The perpetrators managed to escape. The scene was visited by ranks and one 12-gauge shell casing was discovered. Checks were made, but the perpetrators were not located. Investigations are in progress. Stick around after the break. Police investigating the alleged drugging of a Victorian man at Rock Landing, and first ever business center for persons with disabilities in Guyana is being built. But before that, here's the break retraction scheduled, which is sponsored by Antique and Modern Concrete Molding Establishment.
In a world filled with copycats and ever-changing trends, make your property stand out with unique concrete moldings. Different, exquisite designs carefully handcrafted to suit your style, with various customizable and antique and modern designs made at our factory. Antique and Modern Molding Establishment. We make your property outstanding. We make and install all moldings anywhere in Guyana.
The best quality, affordable prices, on-the-spot quotes, and no hidden fees.
Call us or WhatsApp us at 684-5050 or email us at modernestab@gmail.com. Antique and Modern Molding Establishment, made to stand out.
At John Lewis Styles, we carry only first quality men's and women's clothing, footwear, and accessories. As authorized dealers, our items come directly from the manufacturing brands and are available in all sizes and colors. What we sell was never on display in another store. It's time you know the truth about what you buy. Come visit us on Waterloo Street. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
They say that when it hits you, it hits you. A feeling so strong that it's impossible not to give in to a juicy piece of KFC. To feel elevated by the aroma and to free fall into its exciting flavor. Some call it love, attraction, desire. We call it KFC. Ignite your senses with KFC.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
Welcome back. Police in Regional Division 7 responded to a report of someone indiscriminately discharging a firearm in Blackwater Back Dam, Cayuni River on Tuesday, May 31st. 2 ranks were subsequently dispatched to the area. They were further led to the camp where the man accused of firing the firearm was located by the individual who filed the report. Upon approaching the suspect, the ranks observed a rifle in his hand. When the man saw the ranks, he dropped the rifle and fled into the nearby bushes. He was pursued by the ranks, but they were unable to apprehend him. The firearm was found to be a rifle with 27 rounds. The police ranks took possession of the firearm as the search continues for the suspect. Also in Region 7, officers are probing the death of an East Coast Demerara man whose lifeless body was discovered on the bank of the Ikuruku River. Esther Sobers has more details.
Police are investigating the alleged drowning death of a 19-year-old man at Rock Landing, Ikariku River, Upper Mazaruni between May 27th and May 31st. The dead man has been identified as Simon Jones of Victoria, East Coast Demerara. According to reports, Jones was last seen alive on May 27th around 11:30 p.m., attempting to swim across the Ikariku River from the right bank to the left bank. It is believed that his failed attempt caused him to perish at Rock Landing, Ikariku River, Upper Mazaruni. On May 31st, 2022, at about 10:00 hours, 3 miners from the area were traversing the river observed the deceased body afloat close the left bank of the said river. Police in the division was informed and subsequently retrieved the body. No marks of violence were seen on the body of the deceased. However, family members of Jones believe that he was murdered since, according to them, his body appeared to have been burnt and have been tossed overboard. The body is currently being transported to the Georgetown post-mortem examination. Investigations are ongoing. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. The construction of Ghana's first ever business center for persons with disabilities underway in Region 6. The business center is the brainchild of First Lady Aria Ali, who was able to raise just over $13 million for the business center for persons with disabilities through a recent fundraiser. Mrs. Ali said she believes that these individuals must be provided with the resources, opportunities, knowledge, and skills needed to increase their capability to determine their future and fully participate in community life. Construction of the facility is expected to commence within a few months. The Office of the First Lady will be responsible for furnishing the center, providing startup capital, and implementing the program. The center will support entrepreneurs and creatives from other regions. It will comprise 5 workstations that will allow persons to manufacture products ranging from crafts to snacks, a retail space for those products to be sold, a boardroom for meetings and training, a therapy room, a cafeteria, and washrooms. It is expected that at least 30 persons with disabilities will gain direct employment in the short term and another 30 in the medium to long term. The First Lady said the business center was conceptualized to provide an opportunity for these individuals who have sustained economic power, meet their essential needs, and contribute to community development. She added that these entrepreneurs will also benefit from business development training and can train other persons with disabilities, which would allow them to increase production and increase their market shares. Don't go away after the break. Malaysia bans chicken exports in latest food protectionism move, and FIFA World Cup 2022, Qatar faces challenges as countdown looms.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Welcome back. Here now is Esther Sobers with the regional and international news.
Good evening. Now we take a look at news in the region and around the world. Results on the first round of Colombia's presidential election on Sunday took many by surprise. Two anti-establishment candidates will now face off in the second round on June 19th.
Downtown Bogota was calm the day after one of the most consequential presidential results in Colombian history. Leftist former rebel fighter Gustavo Petro came on top, but will now face an unexpected uphill battle against the surprise second-place candidate Rodolfo Hernandez, a right-leaning populist anti-corruption crusader that managed to capture an important section of voters disenchanted with the status quo. On Monday, he spoke to his supporters via social media.
Every day they will come up with something, that I am an Uribista, that I am a Petrista, or that I am neutral, that I am being investigated. But the truth is, my only allegiance is with the Colombian people.
But many working-class Colombians who were thrilled at the left's hope of an historic takeover of the presidency felt deprived.
I'm discouraged. I wanted Petro to win because he defends the elderly. Some people say he is bad, but we don't care. We're not interested in his past life. We're interested in the present.
While trailing 12 points behind, Hernandez could spoil the left's hope by capturing the majority of the conservative voters that backed the establishment candidate on Sunday and whose biggest fear is the possible arrival of a true leftist in power. Hernandez rose in the polls with an unorthodox campaign on social media focusing on a single message against corruption. Some see him as a Colombian Trump and fear some of his proposals are undemocratic or simply awkward, like promising to close embassies to pay off student loans and saying all Colombians will have the right to visit the sea at least once at the government expense. His chief communications strategist says Hernandez's straight talk appealed to many voters disgusted by politicians.
We prioritized the candidate's truthfulness, a candidate without any makeup, without any distractors, and a candidate that spoke frankly about all the matters and obstacles the country needs to overcome to move forward.
Petro had counted on a change versus the establishment narrative to win the presidency in the second round. He now has 3 weeks to radically rethink his strategy, hoping to convince enough of Hernandez voters that he doesn't represent real change and that he will fall in the hands of the old establishment. It could prove to be a difficult challenge. Alessandro Ampietti, Al Jazeera, Bogota.
Internationally, Malaysia has imposed a temporary ban on chicken exports. The government says it has to protect domestic supply and ensure price stability as food production costs rise.
An important source of income for chicken farmers in Malaysia has been cut off after an export ban came into effect on Wednesday. It's a fresh blow to an industry that's already reeling from rising costs.
If we create an export ban, Singapore, or I don't mean Singapore, I mean any country that we export to, they can just switch to another country supplier. So it's really hard for us to get them back to buy for us later in the future. So this export ban will definitely be temporary solution, but we have a long-term headache.
The price of chicken feed has soared, with shortages caused by the war in Ukraine and a heat wave blamed on the climate crisis. Malaysia is not the only country cutting back on food exports.
We've seen similar actions by other governments, such as India and Indonesia, to restrict certain exports of food items in order to contain rising domestic food inflation pressures. Because for developing countries, food accounts for a larger part of the measurement of inflation and retail price inflation.
It isn't just about price stability. The export ban is also meant to ensure the local market has enough chickens. It's consumers outside of Malaysia who will feel the ban's impact.
Neighbouring Singapore imported 34% of its chicken supply from Malaysia last year, almost all of that live. The Singapore government says it's looking for new suppliers and has urged consumers to switch to alternative meats. But food sellers who specialise in a popular dish known as chicken rice say it won't be easy to find a substitute for a key ingredient. They're concerned about a dip in business.
Most chicken rice stores, if not 100% of chicken rice stores, all use fresh chicken rice, basically imported live, slaughtered. So the ban would mean we are no longer able to sell. It's like McDonald's with no burgers, or maybe Coca-Cola without Coke.
The Malaysian government hasn't said how long the export ban will last, but officials say they hope supply and chicken prices will stabilise within a month. Florence Louis, Al Jazeera, Kuala Lumpur.
And finally, Qatar is facing several challenges as the country prepares to host the World Cup football in November.
There was chaos at club football's biggest match in Europe.
The tear gas from people at the gates, it's absolutely ridiculous.
The scenes of riots in Paris are a reminder of the challenges Qatar faces as it prepares to host one of the world's largest sporting events. Qatar is coordinating with multiple countries to provide security for the World Cup. The UK military is providing manpower to patrol the sea and skies and support counter-terrorism operations. Turkey is sending a team of about 3,200 people, including riot police, special operations forces, and bomb experts. With less than 6 months to go before as many as 1 million fans descend on Doha, the capital is a massive construction zone. The organizing committee has allocated 130,000 rooms in hotels, cruise ships, and desert camps. Qatar Airways is partnering with airlines in neighboring Oman, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and the Emirates to fly fans to and from matches on the same day. However, the biggest concern is accommodation, as hotels and other infrastructure are unfinished.
Accommodations will be in short supply because the volume in every FIFA, even if it is in a big country like South Africa, like Russia, like anywhere else, there has always been a shortage of accommodation. So we are not unique.
Criticism persists about the treatment of the army of migrant workers who have made this World Cup a reality. However, the government says it's implemented reforms and working conditions have improved. While addressing the World Economic Forum in Davos, the Emir highlighted his hopes for the tournament.
Our region has suffered for so long. Hosting the World Cup will give hope to the youth across the region and making the lasting contribution to the world.
FIFA estimates as many as 5 billion people will watch the Qatar 2022 World Cup. In the glare of the global spotlight, this country of fewer than 3 million knows all too well it can't miss an open goal. Natasha Ghanem, Al Jazeera, Doha.
Thanks, Esther. Here now is your 3 weather forecast. And that is all for this edition of Channel 2 Headline News Updates. Tune in on Thursday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.